Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about a pretty small device that can literally prevent a huge disaster in your home, the sump pump battery backup. You can think of it as the unsung hero of your basement, and we're about to show you why it is so important. So let me just ask you something. Picture this. The rain is just hammering down, the wind is howling, and bam, the power goes out. What is your plan right then and there to keep your basement from turning into, well, an indoor swimming pool? It's a scenario every single homeowner dreads, but there is a solution. All right, let's dive in. Here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the very real risk of a flood, and then we'll introduce a solution that basically acts like an insurance policy for your basement. We're also going to talk about how to choose the right battery, break down all the costs, and really explain why this is such a critical investment in prevention. Okay, so first up, let's get real about the risk. Your sump pump, that's your primary defense, right? It's your first line of defense against a flooded basement. But what happens when that defense just fails? I mean, it's pretty simple when you think about it. The most common time for a sump pump to fail is during a really bad storm, which, of course, is exactly when power outages are most likely to happen. So if that pump loses power or breaks down for any other reason, all that water has nowhere else to go but right into your basement. So how do you protect yourself from that absolute worst-case scenario? Well, this is where your backup plan comes in, what I like to call your basement's own personal insurance policy. A battery backup sump pump is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a second, battery-powered pump that sits right there next to your main one. Its only job, its entire purpose, is to jump into action the second your primary pump can't do its job. And the process is just brilliantly simple. So first, your main pump stops working. Instantly, the backup system senses that failure. An alarm goes off to let you know what's happening, and the battery-powered pump just kicks right in, seamlessly taking over the job of pumping all that water out and away from your house. The result, your basement stays perfectly dry. Now, this is where the real peace of mind comes in. You are not left in the dark wondering what's happening. A loud alarm is going to sound inside the house, and a lot of these modern systems can even send an alert straight to your smartphone. That means you'll know your backup has taken over, even if you're not home. How cool is that? Okay, so you're sold on the system, but the battery. The battery is the heart of the whole thing. And just like any critical component, you have got to choose the right one because, believe me, not all batteries are created equal. Let's break down your options here. Wet cell batteries, those are the most common and the most affordable. Then you have AGM batteries, which cost a bit more, but they give you a higher capacity and they charge faster. Gel batteries are a great choice if you live in a place with extreme temperatures. But the term you really need to know is deep cycle. And here's why that's so crucial. Deep cycle isn't so much a type of battery as it is a function. It's designed for the exact kind of long, steady power draw that a sump pump needs during an outage. So when you go to buy one, asking for a deep cycle lead acid or a marine battery, that's going to get you exactly the powerful, reliable option that you need. Okay, now for the bottom line. The question everyone asks, what does an investment like this actually cost? Well, if you're starting from scratch, installing a standard sump pump can run you anywhere from around $500 to $1,500. Now, adding a battery backup system to that usually brings the total cost up to between $1,000 and $2,500, maybe more, depending on the power of the system you get. But what if you already have a primary sump pump and you just want to add the backup? Well, in that case, the average installation cost is right around $900. The price can range from about $850 all the way up to $2,000 for a professional installation, depending on the unit and how complex the job is. So yeah, on average, you're looking at a difference of several $100s to add that crucial layer of protection. And I know it might seem like a lot up front, but let's put that cost into some real perspective. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important point. We need to frame this not as just another cost, but as a critical investment in protecting your home and your sanity. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? The cost of a backup system is just a tiny fraction of the cost of cleaning up after a flood. We're talking professional water damage restoration, replacing flooring, furniture, dealing with mold. It's a nightmare. So it really boils down to this. For a few $100s more than a basic system, you're buying protection against thousands and thousands of dollars in damages. So we'll just leave you with this to think about. The next time a big storm rolls in and the lights start to flicker, is the peace of mind that comes from knowing your basement is protected, is that worth the investment? Something to consider. Thanks for watching.